I am an adjunct professor here at Mountain View, and I am the director and writer for the show that you're about to see. So we want to welcome you. Thank you so much for coming to our show tonight. We do ask that you turn off your cell phones. The show is only 50 minutes, so I promise that the internet will still be there when you turn your phone back on. Okay? So hopefully nothing too demanding will happen within a 50-minute period. Okay? Cool? Yes? Yes? Good? Yes? Okay, thank you. On the back of this nifty little program, there are many, many classes that we offer in the theater department. So we have a lot of fun doing appreciation, voice classes, acting classes. We do encourage you, if you're a student here, to take another course in the theater department. So please sit back, relax, enjoy our nifty little tale of its Metamorphoses.
Different bodies. I summon the supernatural being
of transmogrification,
Metamorphoses
into the stuff
of life.
Reveal now
Exactly how they were performed from the beginning up to this moment.
before the sea or land.
Nature were only one mask.
Chaos!
Disarray! And the total arsenal of entropy already at war within it. It was a jumble. A total mess.
Remember, no earth had been formed. Nothing existed.
Air was simply darkness.
Everything hostile to each other thing.
Land!
Sea! Air! Nothing made sense.
God, Jove, or some such artist as resourceful, rolled the earth into a ball
And began to sort it out.
Jove considered how to bring order to the new world. Sky there.
The fiery aspirations that makes heaven, happy to be idle at the top.
Land here.
Which rested at the bottom.
Decorated with heavy metals.
Jove conjured springs to rise and be manifest.
Deep and gloomy ponds, flashing delicious lakes.
God commanded the water to spread out flat.
And to hurl itself at the land's edges. There the Creator deployed clouds.
Thunder to all the hearts of men.
And winds to polish the bolts and the lightning.
And now to bring quick life
Into every corner.
To the fish he gave the waters.
To the beast, the earth.
To the birds the air.
He gave the bright ground of heaven to the gods, the stars, and the planets,
He gave to each its place.
each one harmonic of the others.
None with the will masterful enough to rule others. None to question the great God, Jove.
Till man came.
The Maker, conceiving a holier vision of what he had already created,
Transformed.
a handful of earth,
He gathered that fiery dust and poured pure spring water on it.
Jove rolled mud under his hands,
Pounded it. Thumbed it. Molded it.
And crafted an intelligent being.
into a body shaped like that of a god.
Prometheus.
Though all the beasts had their heads from horizontal backbones.
And studied the earth beneath their feet.
Prometheus transformed man into the vertical.
Then Jove tipped up Prometheus's chin.
So to widen his outlook on heaven.
In this way, the heap of all disorder
Was altered.
Earth was adorned with the godlike novelty of man.
And the first age was gold.
Without laws.
Without laws and forces.
none dreaded judgment. All felt safe and happy.
No man had crossed salt water.
Cities did not exist.
No trumpets gave battle cries. Man needed no weapons.
Nations loved one another.
This age understood and obeyed what had created.
And the earth, unbroken by plow, piled the table high.
Mankind was content to gather the abundance of whatever ripened.
Rivers of milk mingled with rivers of nectar.
And out of the black oak oozed amber honey.
Listening deeply.
Man
had a faith with the source.
That was the age of gold.
But in the age of iron,
The day of evil dawns. Snares.
Lots come hurry.
Now comes the love of gain.
The ground
Formerly free to all.
Was portioned by surveyors into patches.
Between boundary markers.
man tore open the earth and rummaged in her bowels.
Precious ores the Creator had concealed were dug up.
So now iron comes with its cruel ideas. And gold with crueler. Combined, they bring war.
More insatiable.
With bloody hands.
Now man lives only by plunder,
Mother Earth.
soaked with her blood. These men were deaf to the intelligence of heaven. They were revolted by the very idea of a god.
And sort only have to kill each other.
I have to root out family by family, mankind's teeming millions. I will produce a new humanity.
In a moment, he withdrew the blast that fixes the northern ice.
He gave the whole earth to the south wind.
Darkening into the east.
Darkening into the west.
North.
South.
Silence before the great storm.
He dipped his anger in the thought of water.
Rain.
Downpour.
Deluge.
Flood. Thunder had filled heaven. Boiled with swelling tempest.
He dragged whole oceans up,
Shouts of thunder.
dumping the floods
That drowned the human race.
till earth and sea seemed one, a single sea without a shore.
Silence. No one is left. Jove's messenger, the rainbow, swept from earth to heaven.
A new transformation.
The waters slowly fall.
Land resurfaces.
A new beginning.
A new chance.
A new page of stories to learn. Teaching lessons about pride.
Fear.
Love, desire.
Wishes.
A new humanity older than you or I.
Listen!
King Midas! Bacchus offered to grant Midas any wish.
Whatever you want, I will grant it. But consider it wisely.
He did not have to rack his brains.
Here is my wish. Let whatever I touch become gold. Gold, the finest, the purest, the brightest.
Bacchus gazed at the king and sighed gently.
He felt pity.
If that is what you want, fine. I will grant the wish.
With a flick of his staff, Bacchus fulfilled the request.
The Phrygian king returned through the garden, eager to test the powers.
He broke a twig from a low branch of oak.
The leaves turned to heavy gold. He picked up a stone and weighed it in his hand. As it doubled its weight, it became bright yellow.
He stroked the pillars in his palace. Every inch of his room transformed into a yellow dazzling machine.
Gold! Oh, gold!
Thirsty, he reached for a goblet of wine. He set his lips around the cold rim and spat out gold mush.
What happened?
Hungry, he reached for a hanging apple. With a slight twist, he took in the sudden weight.
But I hope to eat this.
No longer so happy.
This was a fruit he made no attempt to bite as he pondered its color.
King Midas' daughter, his only treasure, approached and asked why her father appeared so miserable.
Father, why do you like this gift now? Midas approached his curious child.
You will not so easily understand.
He tossed the gold apple to her, forgetting how
heavy
it was.
And Midas went to help his daughter.
A glowing statue now.
Almost in terror.
He tried to wash the spell off at a fountain.
But the water boiled and transformed into plumes of gold.
He prayed to the God who had given him the gift.
Take it back! I've been a fool!
Bacchus too had enough.
I return you to your happier human limitations. I will remove the gift on one condition. Follow these instructions. A special river flows by Sardis. Find the source. Plunge with it. Go completely under. Let that river carry your folly away and leave you clean.
Midas never got over the shock.
The sight of gold was like the thought of a bee to one just badly.
It made his hair prickle.
His nerves tingled.
He retired to the mountain woods
And tried to forget his greedy past. In the sacred grove of Ceres, goddess of the harvest, an ancient wood was found.
Lush with winding trees of every kind.
that had never before that day jumped to the axe's stroke.
Erysichthon wandered into the grove. Without a qualm, he cut down every tree.
Jump! 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 Jump!
Among those endless trees, one prodigious oak was all to itself.
Her boughs were bedecked with wreaths of votive tributes, each for a prayer Ceres had granted.
Erysichthon didn't care. He assessed the volume of his timber.
Then set his axe, hauled the weight of the broad blade. Goodbye, tree.
With the first downstroke, shuddering swarmed through the whole tree.
Every bough transformed completely white.
Blood leapt from the trunk and branches.
Then the oak clearly spoke.
I live in this tree. I'm a nymph, beloved by the goddess Ceres. And with my last breath, I curse you. As this oak falls upon the earth, may it come down with all of its weight.
Erysichthon ignored the nymph.
I will keep cutting till the whole tree falls, jolting the earth.
All of the nymphs mourned the tree.
They came to Ceres, crying for the criminal to be punished.
Ceres listened to the nymphs, weeping with grief.
Then looked at the summer farms.
The sad orchards.
She pondered how to make his death a parable of her anger.
Let us condemn Erysichthon to hunger, gnawing, insatiable, craving for food. Bring hunger forth!
Though hunger lived in opposition to Ceres,
It obeyed her.
It soared through the darkness.
To the house of Erysichthon.
And bent above his pillow.
And she breathed into every channel of his body.
A hurricane of starvation. The job done. Hunger vanished. Erysichthon snored on. He dreamt of a banquet where the food tastes of nothing.
A nightmare with no relief.
He grinds his molars on air.
At last, he writhed awake in convulsive cramps of hunger.
his jaws seemed to have their own, snapping at nothing.
He stared at food like a cat staring at a bird out of reach.
My stomach feels like a fist, ripping and wringing out the mere idea of food.
Empty bowls of heaped food.
On he craves towards bigger bowls. He tired.
Incarnation left him faint with hunger.
More food! More!
His every possession was converted to what he could devour, till nothing was left except his daughter, his last chattel.
He cashed her in for food,
I sold her at the market.
But she was far too spirited to stay as a bought slave.
stretching her arms out towards the sea. She cried,
Save me!
Neptune granted the prayer and transformed the girl immediately into a simple fisherman. The woman who minutes ago was admiring the girl now only saw Neptune's heart.
She wondered where the girl went and left searching for her prize.
She transformed back into her original shape.
instead of thinking, she escaped. He cried, I can sell you again.
Erysichthon only saw business unfold in his
And
mind.
then he sold her in some new shape.
And she transformed back each time.
All to feed the famine in her father.
But none of it was enough.
Everything he ate maddened and tormented that hunger to an angrier, uglier life.
The life of a monster. No longer a man.
So the last thing that will happen.
He began to savage his own limbs, and there, at a final feast,
Devoured himself.
Arachne!
Ahem! Minerva, goddess of weavers, had heard too much of the weaving of Arachne.
Arachne was a prodigy, unbelievably talented.
The blankets she weaved stories like a goddess.
But she was merely a mortal.
Lydia marveled at her. She had a grace like Minerva's.
Unearthly moved her hands. Surely only Minerva would have taught her. I wouldn't waste my time on her.
Arachne laughed at that suggestion.
My sole instructor is inborn skill. I challenge Minerva to weave better than I weave. And if she wins, let her do whatever she wants with me.
Oh, really?
Suddenly, an old woman panting and leaning on a stick confronted Arachne.
Young child, the thread of consequences cannot be broken. Speak carefully of those greater than you.
Upset, she turned from her loom.
She reared like a cobra.
Old woman, your brain totters like your decrepit body. I am not such a fool to be frightened by an owl-faced confused creatures. she herself should prove it.
The old woman flared up.
She has come. I accept your challenge, mortal.
Minerva bent to the contest without another word.
She raved up her loom.
The shuttles began to fly. Neither was aware of how hard she was working.
Feeding the cloth with colors that glowed every gradation.
Arachne bordered her picture, so it was finished.
Minerva looked distraught as she perused Arachne's work.
Neither the goddess nor jealousy herself could find a stitch in Arachne's work that was not perfection.
She did it! Arachne's triumph was unbearable. Infuriated, Minerva tore Arachne's weaving from the loom and ripped it to rags.
Arachne fell to the floor with grief.
That was my best work.
Arachne refused to live the injustice.
I quickly weaved the noose to fit around my neck.
Suddenly, pity touched Minerva.
She caught the swinging girl.
You have been wicked enough to dangle there and forever, and so you shall.
But alive!
And your whole tribe, same through all time, populating the earth.
The goddess squeezed into daggering Arachne.
Venom from Hecate's deadliest leaf. The poor girl's hair shrank to a poppy seed.
And her hair fell out.
And her body diminished beyond being.
She retains only her slender fingers for legs.
And so forever, she hangs from the thread that she spins.
Pygmalion! A spectacle of cursed women sent Pygmalion the sculptor slightly mad.
He adored women, but he saw the wickedness of these particular women.
Transform every woman to a spider. Her face, voice, gestures, and
It
hair.
became a web.
Her perfume was a floating orb.
Her glance, a spider bite.
So he lived in solitary confinement of a phobia.
Lifeless.
Yet, he still dreamed of women.
The perfect body of a perfect woman.
She moved into his hands.
She took possession of his fingers.
And he began to sculpt.
His hands shaping a woman as if he were still asleep.
Lovelier than any living woman.
As if coming awake, he fell in love.
For this ivory so palpably, a woman became his life.
He spoke to her, flattered her, brought her love gifts.
But it was not enough.
His love was never reciprocated.
For she is just a statue.
Then the day came for the festival of Venus.
A festival where people asked for their greatest desires.
Pygmalion made an offering to the goddess and
Oh,
prayed.
Venus, you have the power to give whatever you please. Oh, Venus, send me a wife and let her resemble.
Pygmalion could not let these words come out.
Let her resemble the woman I have carved in ivory.
Venus heard every word that Pygmalion had not dared to pronounce.
Pygmalion hurried away home to his ivory obsession.
He burst in fever with desperation.
But a change in the statue occurred. Softness. Warmth.
Warm and soft as warm wax and alive with life.
And there pressed his lips on lips that were alive. She woke blushing to find herself kissing.
And opened her eyes for the first time to the light and her lover together.
Then Pygmalion's legs gave beneath him. On his knees, he sobbed his thanks to Venus.
Atalanta, once the greatest runner in the world, was a woman.
It's true.
She could run, and she did.
But none can say which was more wonderful, the swiftness of her feet or her beauty. When this woman questioned the oracle about her future husband, the oracle said,
Atalanta, stay clear of a husband. Marriage is not for you. Nevertheless, you are fated to marry. and therefore fated, sooner or later, to give yourself to another.
The poor girl pondering this riddle was alarmed. To her suitors, she met with a fearful deterrent.
You can win me only if you can outrun me. That is to say, whoever wins is my husband, and whoever loses, well, he has lost his life. That is the rule for all who dare to court me.
Truly, she had no pity, but the very ferocity of this grim condition of hers only lent her beauty, heavier power.
Only to make her suitors give.
Hippomenes watched the races.
What fool would wage life itself simply to win a woman? This is a scheme to rid the world of idiots.
Her dazzling beauty, Hippomenes' brain seemed to turn over. He reached his arms towards her, fingers hooked.
I had no idea she's so beautiful.
Hippomenes' heart was lost. Suddenly, he was afraid of a winner.
Why am I not among them? Taking my chance.
Atalanta rushed past.
Hippomenes ignored the draining corpses.
Why not race against me? I am Hippomenes, grandson of the god of the ocean. I have not disappointed expectations. If my luck fails, your fame will be that much more greater.
Listen, stranger, get as far away from me by the shortest route. Married with me, it's like death. Move! Go while you can. If these poor corpses can't deter you, then die. You cannot win me, Hippomenes. Just forget me. If fate had not made my favor so lethal, well, you alone would be my choice.
Hippomenes said a prayer to Venus, who enlightened him to his secrets.
The most precious acre in Cyprus contains Venus's temple and orchard. A tree grows there of solid gold, with leaves of green gold, apples of red gold, visible only to Hippomenes. He saw these apples in their purpose and took them.
Hippomenes and Atalanta approached their march for the race. 3, 2, 1, go! Atalanta moved as swift as ever.
I can't help it.
Hippomenes fleeing an apple past her.
Startled to see such a gorgeous trinket set aside, she feared to snatch it up. Hippomenes surged forward, but Atalanta came back with a vengeance. She passed him so lightly when the second apple was thrown.
I quickly caught this one.
Oh, Venus, give me the whole of your gift.
Then with all his might, he hurled the last apple past her, beyond into a gully of choked tumbled rock and thorn. Finally, she glimpsed at it too long, and she lost the race.
Oh, out of all the men who have played, well, I am happy that you are still alive. Now we are each other's thanks to Venus. Come.
Echo and Narcissus! In his 16th year, Narcissus was still a slender boy, yet he infatuated many women.
Something glassy about his looks and pride that kept all his admirers at a distance.
None dare be familiar.
A day came out of the mountain
I was netting a deer.
when Echo saw him.
Echo, who could not be silent when another speaks.
Echo, who always answers back.
In days before, this nymph was more than just a voice. But now, she could only speak the last word or two she heard uttered by others.
Juno had stricken her with this odd affliction some time ago.
When Juno, following a tip off from Echo,
Would be stalking Jupiter to catch him in some dell.
Echo made it her duty to engage the goddess in an unending rigmarole of chatter.
he's over there. No. There. No, wait. There? No. There. Over here, follow me. Over there. There. You know what? To be brutally honest, I don't even know.
Echo led Juno into an aimless, wandering with her speech.
Your tongue has led me in such circles. Henceforth, it will have to trail helplessly after others, uttering only the last words of what you heard last.
Last.
The moment Echo saw Narcissus, She was in love.
She followed him like a starving wolf.
She almost burst out with a longing to somehow tell him how she felt.
As it happened, Narcissus had strayed away from his companions.
Where are you? I'm here.
And Echo caught at the syllables as if they were precious.
I'm here, I'm here, I'm here.
I'll stay here. You come to me.
Come to me, come to me, come to me.
Narcissus stood baffled whether to stay or go.
Then she emerged from the undergrowth, her expression pleading.
Her arms raised to embrace him.
No. I would sooner be dead than let you touch me.
Touch me, touch me, touch me.
Echo moved under the leaves.
From that day, love was fixed in her body like a barbed arrow.
Her bones, they say, turned into stone. Unseen in the forest on the empty mountainside, the wall could still hear her.
The nymphs felt pity for Echo and decided, let Narcissus love and suffer as he has made her suffer.
Then the nymphs led Narcissus to a pool of perfect water.
Gratefully, he stretched out full length.
To cup his hands in the clear cold.
But as he drank, a strange new thirst
Entered his body with the water. It entered his eyes with the reflection in the limpid mirror.
He could not believe the beauty of those eyes that gazed into his own.
Oh my God! I'm gorgeous!
So he lay mistaking for a picture on the pool for a stranger who can make him forever
He
happy.
lay like a fallen statue.
Falling deeper and deeper in love with the picture.
He could not go. He could not dare look away.
He wanted neither to eat nor sleep.
This is how his own eyes destroyed him.
Your face is full of love as your eyes look into mine. I stretch my arms to you. You as eagerly stretch yours to me. You laugh when I laugh.
He melted, consumed by his love.
When I tell you my love, I see your lips, though I cannot hear it.
Then Narcissus wept into the pool.
His tears shattered the still shrine, and his image blurred.
Don't leave me!
Like echoes, the petal of his beauty shriveled, fell.
He disappeared from his own eyes.
Alas,
Alas,
farewell your incomparable body. I have loved you in vain.
I have loved you in vain.
So he entered the land of the dead. He could not resist it.
He ran straight to the banks of the Styx and gazed down at his shadow.
In a lamenting song and far off, wandering heartbroken among the hills.
Echo sang the refrain, but there, in the pressed grass, where he perished, no body could be found.
Only a flower,
Tall, a ruff of white petals.
Round a dainty bugle center,
yellow as egg yolk. So finally, death closed the eyes that loved themselves too much.
when Phaeton bragged about his father, Phoebus the sun god.
His friends mocked him.
Your mother must be crazy.
You're crazy to believe her.
How can the sun be anyone's father?
In a rage of humiliation,
Phaeton ran to his mother by me.
They're all laughing at me. Is it true, mother? The sun, the high god Phoebus, he is my father. Can be true.
either moved by her child's distress or piqued to defend her honor, Clymene stretched her arms to the sun.
By the dazzling ball itself, he who watches us and listens to everything I say, you are that bright son of the star who lights up the whole world. If you want to know more about yourself, he rises from that land beyond our borders.
Go and ask him.
Phaeton rushed out, his head ablaze with the idea of heaven.
And came to his father's dawn palace. Phaeton climbed the steep approach and entered the house of his father.
But the huge light was so fierce that he could not go near it.
for there was the god.
Phoebus, the sun!
The boy stared dumbfounded, dazed by the marvel of it all.
Your mother told true. Phaeton, my son, why are you here?
Phaeton could not speak.
To free yourself from doubt, ask me for something.
Anything!
I promise, you shall have it.
Phoebus had barely stopped speaking.
I want one whole day driving the winged horses with the chariot of the sun.
The danger of what you're asking for is endless. To yourself, to all creation. How could you cope with the horses? Once their blood is up, they will hardly obey you.
Ask again for something different, wiser!
You have no notion what you ask me for.
But Father, you promised me, your son, anything, and this is what I wish for.
Your foolish words show the tragic folly of mine. If promises could be broken, I would break this. But first, I must let you go.
Phaeton was giddy as a schoolboy.
He seemed not to have heard his father's concern.
Phaeton wanted nothing but to drive.
Phoebus could find no other means to delay Phaeton and led him to the chariot.
Fortune, go with you. And I pray that she would take care of you better than you have taken care of yourself.
Phaeton barely touched the reins when
The horses burst upwards. They hurled themselves ahead,
The chariot bounced.
bucking and flipping as if it were empty.
The horses panicked and swerved at the track of heaven.
it was true. Phaeton had neither the strength nor the skills to manage the reins.
The load was too light.
Now Phaeton looked down and saw the earth.
So far below, so terrifyingly tiny.
He wished he had never seen his father's horses.
He wished his father had broken his promise.
He wished he had never learned who his father was.
The horses took off blindly.
Uncontrolled, they let their madness fling them this way and that, all over the sky.
The earth began to burn. All fields, all thickets.
All crops were instantly fueled. Now Phaeton saw the whole world mapped with fire.
The almighty Jove called on the gods. They must put a stop to Phaeton. With splitting crack of thunder, he lifted a bolt.
They drove the bark of flesh point blank into Phaeton.
The explosion snuffed the ball of flame.
Blew the chariot into fragments.
Hair ablaze, transformed into,
A fiery speck.
plunged toward the earth like a shooting star.
Falling and burning out on a clear night.
In a remote land, the current quenched his ember, and he was washed ashore.
His father mourned.
Eclipsed with sorrow.
They say no sun shone on that day.
Arethusa, Ceres, happy again to have her daughter, returned to Arethusa to learn why she ran away from home, and just how she became a fountain.
Come, Arethusa, and speak to me!
The pool stirred, and the goddess rose out of the depth. I was a nymph of Achaea. None loved the woods or scenting their hunting gears as keenly as I did. I was all energy and never thought of my looks. My appearance burdened me because it attracted men, and I had no time for them. There came a day she was exhausted in the Stymphalian forest, my efforts having a double effect on me.
She found a stream,
Deep, but not too deep.
quiet and clear. Every grain of sand seemed magnified under the water. She waded in and plunged
I planned to stay there swimming
until she felt a strange force in the current. Frightened, she scrambled up onto the bank.
A voice came, Alpheus the river god.
Why leave in such a hurry, Arethusa?
I just ran. That brought it back to me all the more.
She ran like a dove in panic.
Dodging through trees over savannah.
The sun pressed on her back.
And I saw the very shape of my terror.
In an agony of effort, she called to Diana.
Help! The goddess heard and was stirred. She hid me in a dense mist. I smothered my gasping lungs. I tried to muffle my heartbeat, and I froze
not gone out.
A sudden sweat chilled her whole body.
It streamed from me.
It welled from her hair.
It puddled under my feet. In the time it takes to tell you this,
She had become a spring.
a river flowing downhill.
Arethusa traveled to another land.
Diana's kindness brought me back to light. That is my story.
Safe and still flowing as a fountain for all to see.
A reminder of transformation.
The eyes of the gods over humanity.
Protecting humans from their desires.
Changing their fates when needed.
Teaching lessons about
Pride.
Love.
Desire, wishes,
Through the vessel of water.
This is how bodies are changed into different bodies.
And the transformation continues.
Metamorphoses.
into the stuff of life.